Hello, for today's video, I want to talk about permissions and commenting and suggesting on Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, those kinds of programs in the G Suite, which is all of Google's products. These features can be incredibly useful, but a lot of people, maybe even most people, use them incorrectly. If you use them correctly, not only will you be easier to work with, but it'll also save you a lot of time. So here we go. I'm in a Google Doc right here, which is probably where most of you will use these features most often. And I want to start by talking about permissions because you can't do these things if you only have viewing rights to the document or to the file. So if you don't see these options, don't freak out. It probably just means you don't have permission to do that. If you have commenting rights or editing rights, you should be able to do these features. So I have editing rights to this document. You can tell because it's up here. And just because I have editing rights doesn't mean I have to edit. Sometimes I can just make a suggestion in the document so that other editors can consider it and decide whether or not they want to do it. So if I want to change from editing mode to suggesting mode, I just click here, go to suggesting, and now I can make suggestions, and any edits that I make to the document are not permanent. It doesn't just look like everything else. It looks like a suggestion. So I'll show you. So let's say we're talking about messaging students, email, texting. Let's say I also want to go, should we add social media on here? So I'm adding it as a suggestion, not an edit. So I'll say social media, and it shows up in the margin here as a suggestion, add social media. Now, I can either accept or reject this myself because I'm an editor, or other editors can look at it and either accept or reject it. Now, what most people do because they use the feature incorrectly is they go, oh, I want to get rid of this message, and they'll close it. They think that the X means close, which often it does, and then they'll go, but I like the suggestion, so I'm going to type it in, and then they'll just type it in themselves. That's not the most efficient way to do it. The most efficient way, if you want to keep the suggestion, is don't reject it, just accept it. And then you click the checkbox, and oh, look, now it's a permanent edit. Permanent, I mean, you know what I mean. You can still change it, but now it just looks like everything else. The interesting thing about suggestions is if you, so I'm going to make another suggestion. If you have a suggestion in there and somebody rejects it because they don't know how to use this feature, they often get an email notification, and that can hurt people's feelings. Because they'll get an email notification that says Lee Freeman rejected your suggestion. And in fact, I might have actually taken the suggestion. I just didn't know how to use the thing. So I rejected it, and then I made the change that you suggested manually. But if you just use the feature correctly, that will minimize the chance that you'll hurt other people's feelings, and it'll save you time. All right, that's it for today. Hope that was helpful.